Hi guys, so in today's webinar we are talking about auditing and like how we do auditing in ISAC in France. So first of all, let's see why auditing is important. So basically, we need auditing in order to keep legal and to be able to function as a non-profit. And yeah, so let's move on. I'm gonna share my screen and I'll go through the details. So in the way we do auditing, so it's basically two very simple steps. The first one is that we update our web account, which is basically it's where we put our accounting. So when you log into your web account, you come here, and after that you go, as you can see here, in accounting, you press transactions, and let's wait to transfer to the new page. So by the way, I'm using an old web account of one of our LCs. As you can see, it's been a while since we had any transactions. So let's see. So first of all, we can go here and put when we have incomes and expenses. When we have an income, we come here and we press on income first, and then we choose the right date. We write the description, of course, the amount, and then we have categories. So as you can see here, we have different categories. Again, like it's divided into expenses, so make sure that you choose when you put an income from the incomes and when you put an expense from the expenses. And when you don't have a category that matches what you want, you can just come here and add the new category. You just like write the name. For example, when you have like bank fees, you can just put bank fees or different products and everything basically. And what is very important is to always like you have like three choices here. We always choose checking account because checking account is the bank. And basically on Wave we list all of the transactions that is shown in the bank statement. So let's just put that we put like, for example, an OGB for 300, and we choose a category here. Here it is. Then we go to sales and we choose invoices, because as you know, when you put a transaction, you have to make sure that you justify it. So as we go here, okay. So how we justify the income is very simple because we do it through the website. So we come here and we put we go to create an invoice, and then we can add a customer. For example, just gonna put this one. So we make sure that we choose the right date. Now, the date that you put is the date that they paid, not that you have made the contract. And you put an item. OGB. This is like quite old, so just make sure that you put the right prices. And after that, you save and continue. So a note here, you can also like create new clients, but you know, every single time. So you approve the job when you make sure that that is correct. Otherwise, you cannot change things. And if you want, you can send the invoice to your client, or usually we just put a skip sending. record payments. Again, we choose like the right dates, the amounts, and here again like bank payments and checking accounts. Always, always, always. So after put close. So I'll create our invoice. We go back to transactions. Okay. So as you can see, it has the same price, and then we just merge them. It's very important because if you have that was the main currency. I forgot to change it to chicken account. Okay. So and we merge them, and it's very important that we do because otherwise we'll throw off the balance sheet that I will explain later on. So after that, I'm here and we'll put add an expense. For example, it can be office. I don't know, maybe like 10 euros. And come here, I think the create weird. Okay. So let's create a new category since it's not there. Okay, so I have different kind of things. I'm guessing, okay, so for bank fees, I guess it would be fees and bank service charges, okay. Again, checking account. When you create a new category, just give it some time and it will appear. So now the thing how we justify expenses is not the same. It's a bit more complicated, I guess. So we go here and we go to purchases and we press receipts. And as you can see, like everything is downloaded here. So what you have to do is to press upload the receipt. And it will open you here. So basically, you just choose the document that it fits. You wait until it's uploaded, then you validate it, and then it will go back to accounting, where again, like you have to merge it with the transaction that you made. So another important thing to web account is where you put your bank statement. Now, let's go back here. We'll explain how to. You put it as expense, and you put like the amount to 0, so it doesn't like throw off the other transactions. And then you upload the receipt. You can also create a category for it if you want, or you can let it to an expense. So after this, we go. So I hope here. So I hope you heard by now about the GFP. GFP is a report made by I that we have to fill every month, and we fill it based on the expenses and the incomes that we have made, but in a little bit different way than on the web. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's go here. So why is different? Because instead of putting one transaction after another, here we kind of put them in groups, which first we have our products. So for example, about OGB, if you had 6 OGB in 1 month, you come here, you sub that amount up and you put it here. And then we have different categories as well. We have like partnerships, different conferences, entity affiliation fee, sponsorships and donations in case you're like, if you get like, if you're like, for example, partners with the university, but they pay you money, it's a little bit different, so you can put it here. And if you have any other revenues, like for example, you had an event and you sell something, you can put it here. And it's the exact same about the cost, aka expenses. And the last important thing about the GFP report is this. So basically, you have to put how much money in the bank account in the beginning of the month and then in the end of the month. And as well, petty cash. For the people that don't know, petty cash is the money that you have on you. For example, if you had an event and people like paid you, it's the money that you have on you. So I will advise you that you try to not have that. Like for example, if you do have an event and if you do make money out of it, I advise you to put that money in the bank as soon as possible. Because like you minimize the risk of losing it or something happening to it, so it's just so. We also have as well, for example, long-term asset, poverty reserves, financial property, other. Okay, let me check. Yeah, that depends. Like for example, if you are in debt, you have unpaid invoices, you can also put them there. But just like focus on the bank account. That's the most important, and everything will show up here. Liabilities. Okay. So basically, more or less that is audit. It's the transactions that you make, and you make sure to justify them, the bank statement, and the GFP report. So now, how we measure the points that you get in the audit? Basically, it's like you get 1 point if you're missing 1 to 2 transactions to just and their justifications. 2 points if it's 3 to 5, and 3 points if it's 5 or more. Point if you don't book the bank statement, and you get 1 point if you don't fill the GFP report, and you also get 1 point if your balance sheet is not balanced, let's say. So I'm gonna explain now. So when you come here, you can go to reports. You go to balance sheets. And you can see here on the checking account is the amount is not the same as it says in the total assets. Yeah. Like those two should be the same, and like, the problem here is cash on hand, which is why I explained that we always put it in the checking account. Basically, if the transaction is not in the bank, it shouldn't be on Wave. Something to keep in mind. So that was all. Thank you so much for taking the time to check about the auditing. In the next days, we'll also have our one-to-ones, so please make sure that you book me for one. Again, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with auditing. I am always available if you have any questions. Thank you.